Today we're going to talk about stopping with your front brake. Let's check it out. Hey, I'm Rikki Rockett.
I'm Rob Day.
And this is Dirtbaggers Academy. This is something we want to try and see if anybody likes the content that we're trying to create, which is help people to be a better rider. The first thing I need to get better at is riding in sand, as per my last video, but we won't talk about that today. Oh. Well, we could for a second, but what seems to be a ongoing topic is stopping with your front brake in the dirt. Things have changed with the new ABS on motorcycles, and a lot of motorcycles where you can't turn off the ABS anymore. Now you're faced with a whole nother slew of problems.
2021 brought about new standards, starting with EU standards, but I'm sure they'll be adopted everywhere. And that is that you can no longer turn off ABS, at least to the front wheel. This is true on Pan America. This is true on the 2021 BMWs, and probably is going to be the way of the future. So rather than the old school thinking of always turn off your ABS off-road, now we're all going to start to have to learn to use those electronics on our bikes, on our big adventure bikes. Now, they're a lot better than they used to be. First gen ABS, yeah, you did want to turn that off-road because it could get you in a lot of trouble, especially going down a big hill. You would just get going faster and faster and faster because it wouldn't let those wheels lock up. Well, that was way old school ABS, and we're up to Bosch 9, I believe, is the IMU on this bike. That's the inertial measurement unit for all you techies. And it's really good. 6-axis, super fast, thousands of times a second. And so oftentimes, even when we activate this ABS, we don't feel that pulsation. It just happens so fast and so smoothly. And so the focus of this video is going to be, pretty forceful use of that front brake. There is a reason that there are 2 large rotors here versus 1 in the rear. That reason is that front wheel is your stopping wheel. That's your stopping brake. Even off-road, that's where all the magic happens, okay? People that are afraid to use their front brake, street or dirt, have super long stopping distances, and we've all seen the YouTube video of the guy that's on the freeway and stop and go traffic, and suddenly traffic stops and he's got plenty of room, but he just slides all the way into the back of that car, boom, because he was afraid to use his front brake. Okay, so this is what we're trying to get people over with this video. Use that thing.
When you're going into a turn off-road on a big bike like this, can you use your front brake at all?
Yes, you can. Now, here's my caveat with everybody that's thinking that we're crazy. First thing that I want to talk about is this many versus this many. Okay, rule of thumb that I like to teach off-road is no more than 2 fingers on brake and clutch at any time off-road. For those of you that have gone through an MSF course, or in California they call it CMSP, they teach you to cover that brake with all 4 fingers. That is correct on pavement, but what you'll find is that in dirt you don't want to do that, because you also need to still hold on to that grip a little bit and that throttle, right? If you've got all 4 fingers squeezing that front brake, your thumb moves forward. And this is how I know when someone's got their whole hand on the brake, because I hear him come to a stop going, right? That's my clue, okay? So 2 fingers, and also because you can apply full braking pressure to these new modern bikes easily with a single finger, okay? Panic stop, everything else that we could possibly teach you, you can do it with 1 finger. 2 fingers, if you're new at it, eventually you may get to 1 finger.
A lot of people actually use that middle finger.
I do as well.
Because it's a stronger
and longer, right?
Yeah.
So the question was, can we use that front brake in a turn? Yes, you can, as long as you've got a good feel for it and you don't over control it. So the problem that a lot of people have is they see brakes the same way they see the accelerators. It's on or off. They look at their clutch the same way, right? When you ride off-road, all these things are more blended. You use the friction zone of your clutch a lot. So you're just soft touching that front brake. It's not stab, 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 stab to try and figure out how much braking I need. It's constant pressure, you just more or less of it, not necessarily movement on the lever, but a change in how much pressure you're applying. So if let's say I'm coming into a downhill curve, can I use that front brake? Yes, and I do that. That's how I ride this bike, and this is a 2015. It's not even this good, but it still works well on this one with the ABS on. I just kind of trail brake with my front brake. Go around my corner. If I need to slow down more, I just apply a little bit more pressure. I know where the threshold of locking up that front wheel is, even with ABS on, and that's the key, and that's what we call threshold braking in training, right? So I know where it's about to happen, and I know don't go any further than that, and I can manage my front brake in a corner. I don't want to panic stop in a corner with the front brake, right? That's going to be a rear brake exercise, but I use my front brake almost constantly, other than situations where I think I might need the rear brake, which is if I'm skidding or skid steering or initiating a power slide or demonstrating a maneuver for students, for example. All the rest of the time when I'm out riding by myself, I'm pretty strict front brake only kind of guy.
Today what we're going to do is demonstrate that front brake from a couple of different miles per hour, a couple different angles. We're also going to demonstrate a rear brake stop too, just so you can see the difference. So I hope you learned a little something from this. The main thing is to get out there and just practice it. So what are some of the key takeaways?
The key thing that we're trying to, I think, get across here is don't be afraid of that front brake in the dirt. Right? Have confidence in it. It will stop the bike. It'll stop the bike quickly.
And you can stop with the front brake or with the rear brake, but I would suggest that you get that front end as straight as you can. Because it's gonna want to slide off to the side. This does not feel like a motocross bike when you slam that rear brake where you want to hold on to it. There's some guys that can do that, but for the most part, this bike doesn't listen to you when you throw your weight around on it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Definitely subscribe. Ring the bell so that you can get notifications when we upload more content like this. Hope you liked it. On behalf of Ricky and Rob, Dirtbaggers, Off-Road, Big Bike, Off-Road Squad.
Find Dirtbaggers on Facebook.